Let's put train test into action. So you might remember that a regression can be thought of as a form of supervised machine learning. So let's just take a polynomial regression, which we already covered earlier in this course, and use trend test to try and find out the degree polynomial to fit a given set of data. So just like in our previous example, we are going to set up a little fake data set of randomly generated page speeds and purchase amounts, and I am going to create a weird little relationship between them, that kind of exponential in nature. So let's go ahead and generate that data. It's going to use the normal distribution of random data for both page speeds and purchase amount. Using this relationship here, so next I am going to split that data. I am going to take 80% of my data, and I am going to reserve that for my training data, and only 80% and are going to use for training the model. For testing that model against unseen data, we use 20%. Okay, I am just going to use Python syntax here for splitting a list into the first 80 points. Are going to go to the training set, and the last 20, everything after 80 is going to go to test. Remember that from our Python basics course, we covered that syntax before, and I will do the same thing for purchase amount. Now on the slides I did say you should not just slice your data set into two like this. You should randomly sample it for training and testing. In this case it works out because my original data was randomly generated anyway. So there's really no rhyme or reason to where things fell, but in real world data you will wanna shuffle that data before you split it, and there's a random dot shuffle method you can use for that purpose. Also, if you are using the pandas package, there's some handy functions in there for making training and test data sets automatically for you, but we are just going to do it using a Python list here just to keep it simple. So let's visualize our training data set that we end up with. So we will do this of our training page speeds and purchase amount, and it looks like that, basically 80%, 80 points selected at random from the original of complete data set. Has basically the same shape, so that's a good thing. It's representative of our data, that's important, and our remaining 20 for testing also has the same general shapes as our original data. So I think that's a representative test set too, little bit smaller than you would be sure in the real world. For sure you will probably get a little bit of a data if you had 1000 points instead of 100. For example, to choose from and reserved to 100 instead of 20. So now I am going to try to fit an 8th degree polynomial to this data, and I am just going to pick the number of 8 at random because I know it's really high order and it's probably overfitting. So let's go ahead and fit our 8th degree polynomial using np.poly1d using x, y and 8, where x is an array of the training data only and y is an array of the training data only, testing data only. So we are fitting our model using only those 80 points that we reserved for training, and we have the p for function, that values that we can use to predict new values. So let's go ahead and plot the polynomial. This comes up with against the training data, and we can scatter our original data here for the training data set, and then we can plot our predicted values against them. So you can see here it looks like a pretty good fit, but you know clearly it's doing some overfitting here. What's this craziness out here? I mean, I'm pretty sure if we add it out here would not be crazy high, as this function would implicate. So this is a great example of overfitting your data. if fits the data you gave it very well, but it would do a terrible job of predicting new values beyond this point. Alright, so let's try to tease that out. Let's give it our test data set, and indeed if we plot our test data against that same function, it does not actually look that bad. One of our test data is actually out here to begin with, but you can see that it's a reasonable fit, but it's far from perfect. And in fact, if you actually measure the R thing, it's worse than you might think. So we can do that here using the R2Score function from scikit-learn matrix, and we just give it our original data and our predicted values, and it just goes through and measures all the variance from the prediction and squares them all up for you, and we end up with an R squared score of just so not that hot. And you can see that it fits the training data a lot better, and an R squared value of 0.6, which is not too surprising because we trained it on the training data, and test data is sort of its unknown, its test, and it failed the test quite frankly. 30%, that's an fail F. So that's an example of using trained test to evaluate a supervised learning algorithms. And like I said before, Pandas has some means of making this even easier. We will look at that later in this course. We will also look at more example of trained test, including k-fold cross validation later in this course as well. And you can probably guess what your homework is. We know that an 8th order polynomial is not very useful. Can you do better? So I want you to go back, run this SciPython, but use different values for the number, for the degree of polynomial that you are going to use to fit. So change that 8 to different values and see if you can figure out what degree polynomial actually scores best using trained test as a matrix. So where do you get your best R squared score for your test data? What degree fits here? So go play with that. If you have any problems, post in the description, but it should be pretty and a very enlightening one for you. Have some fun with it. So that's trained test in action. Very important technique to have, and you are going to use it over and over and over again to make sure that your results are a good fit for the model that you have and are a good predictor of unseen values. So great way to preventing overfitting. When you are doing your modeling,